Flights to Spain in business class for $120 instead of $2,000? Yes, please. Using your points and miles to book this flight is one of the best ways to get to Europe. And it's easier to book now more than ever, no matter what kind of flexible points you have. It used to be the cheapest way to get to Europe in business class, but they have now been dethroned, but we'll get back to that. I'm going to give you all the good stuff up front. Let me show you how to find this award availability, and then I'll give you some helpful tips. The easiest way to find this award availability is going to be with this tool called Seats.Aero. And now we're flying on Iberia business class, but to find this deal, we're actually going to use American Airlines' program to help narrow down the search. So we're going to hit Explore and go to American Airlines. We're going to apply some filters here. You're going to change this to Europe, and then we'll select the airlines drop down menu and hit Iberia, and then we're going to switch this availability from 60 days over to a full year. Now this is a pro feature. In order to do this, it's $10 a month, but don't worry, I'm going to show you a free method of doing this later on. So once that's loaded up, just sort by business class pricing here, and then type in MAD for Madrid. And so since we've got this filtered for Iberia, it's going to show us all of the business class award availability from the United States or from North America over to Spain with Iberia business class. And we're what, maybe a minute or so into this video already. This is business class award availability here. So this search bar is really helpful. You know, you can sort departure airports here, or you can just type in where you want to fly from. If you want to fly from DFW, here you go, or just type in JFK for New York. And so long as you have Madrid, because that's going to be that non-stop flight that we're looking for, it will pull up that availability. If you're looking for a specific time frame, you could type in the date just as you see it here. So 2025, April, and as you can see, these are the flights available in April from these airports. Now from here, whenever you find a flight that you're interested in, just make sure to select this I and go to this business class tab and make sure that it is Iberia business class that you're looking at, because sometimes you'll see that it's a different airline that it's actually looking at. Then from here, you can scroll down, and then there's this book via airline tab, and it will give you all the different options here. It doesn't have Iberia for some reason, but I like to double check on British Airways Avios' website first. I like using British Airways because their website is actually a little bit easier to navigate than Iberia. Iberia has a lot of glitches, and whatever availability you find on British Airways, 99% of the time it's also going to show up on Iberia. So here's the flight on British Airways, business class, 5 seats left, that's awesome, and then 34,000 Avios and $116. We go to Iberia's website, do the same search, and here it is as well, 34,000 Avios and $116. Now it's important that you do those checks before transferring any points over to anyone, because the award availability you find on Seats.Aero, it's technically old. It's not a real-time search. For instance, you have this last seen column, and so this 2/19 date that we were looking at was just found 2 hours ago. If you find something from a day ago, it might still be available, but this award availability is pretty competitive in terms of people that want to book this, so it may not be there. So always triple check before transferring any points. And speaking of which, there's no way to select how many seats you want to look for using American Airlines' program on Seats.Aero. So whenever you go find this award availability, make sure to change it to 2 people if you're actually looking for 2 passengers. Well, that was easy, right? That's the process. However, there's some details that would be helpful to know. Let me get into those now. So the first question might be, what airports can I fly from the United States over to Spain with using this pricing and this method that you showed me? And the tool that answers this question is going to be flightconnections.com. If you type in Madrid as the destination here, you can see all the direct routes to Madrid, but you'll also want to filter this for Iberia Airlines. And so these are going to be those airports here. So you got New York, Boston, Chicago, DFW, and a couple in Cali. Now these are relatively constant. However, routes do change over time from year to year. So it is a good idea to double check this website to see if that's still the case. If you're not in one of these airports, in order to take advantage of this pricing, you'll probably want to reposition to one of these airports. While we're here though, if we switch this to Madrid as the origin, you can see those same airports that you can fly back to. However, I want to make the point here, look how connected Madrid is to the rest of Europe via Iberia Airlines. So it could be that you fly over to Spain, and then you could take a connecting flight to elsewhere in Europe if Spain is not your final destination. But now let's talk pricing. Iberia Airlines, they price their award flights via distance. So they have a distance-based award chart, and they have on-peak and off-peak pricing. So that extra leg leg from Madrid to somewhere else in Europe, that's going to cost you extra. And that flight that we found for 34,000 points, that was in February. If you're going to find a flight within summer or another peak time, that's going to cost you extra as well. So to give you a range, East Coast off-peak pricing is going to cost you 34,000 points, while West Coast peak pricing is going to cost you 62,500 points. Here's a couple charts that kind of have it broken down for you between off-peak and on-peak pricing and the distance. And there used to be a peak and off-peak calendar for Iberia Airlines. However, that's not really published anymore officially. Sometimes some bloggers will put together a calendar for you. However, I haven't been able to find one for this year yet. And a bonus tip to save you even more with this pricing is to take advantage of a transfer bonus whenever those are going on. They could be as high as 30% from places like Chase and American Express. So what this means is that whenever you transfer 1,000 points, you'll get a 30% bonus. So you'll be able to get 1,300 points instead. Now, how do you know when these transfer bonuses are going on? Well, subscribe to my newsletter and I'll let you know every week what transfer bonuses are going on, in addition to a bunch of other points and miles news that you'll love. I'll have a link in the description for that. Now, if you don't want to pay for Seats.Aero, I get you. I mean, I became a points and miles YouTuber just so I don't have to pay for those subscriptions. Just kidding, but here's how to find it for free with 2 different ways. So if you've got a short date range that you're looking for availability within, British Airways is actually not a bad place to start. In a search here, just log into your British Airways account, go down to this drop-down menu under Book, and make sure to select Book a Flight with Avios. It will bring you to this page where you could just type in the destination that you're looking for. Under Class, you can select Business. However, if you select economy, it's going to show you economy, premium economy, and business class anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Type in whatever date you're looking for. I like to search one way at a time and then hit Get Flights. It'll ask you if you want to add any stopovers, select no, and then it will give you 7 days at a time of award availability. It will show you Iberia's icon here and if there's award availability. And so you do have to click in every single date to see if there is award availability, and you could just click over for the following week. So it is a bit time consuming, but it's a little bit more of a direct way of doing it. The second way is through American Airlines itself. Just type in the route that you want to go on. Make sure you select redeem miles. At this point, you can select any date. Doesn't really matter which one you're actually looking for. Go ahead and hit search. Then from here, it'll give you all the options. You can sort by business class just to see if there's anything on the date that you looked at. But what we're really looking for is calendar here. And then from here, you can check these dates to see if there's any business class award availability. Now you'll need to go into every single date and see, because this is on American Airlines, but we're really looking for Iberia Airlines because it's not going to be the same price if it's not Iberia on Iberia Airlines. Now, once you find whatever availability, like I said, make sure to always triple check on Iberia before transferring your points. And I told you that you could book this flight using every flexible points currency. However, if you look at my transfer partner guide that you get whenever you sign up for my newsletter, you could see that Iberia is a transfer partner of everyone except Capital One and Citi points. However, Capital One does transfer over to British Airways, and Citi does transfer over to Qatar. And now Qatar and British Airways, they both use the Avios currency. So once you transfer your points to either of those, you can then transfer them over to Iberia to pull your points in order to book this flight. Now, I recommend that you learn how to do this now because there are some things that can go wrong, and I show you how to do that step by step in this video. Or if you're curious what the actual cheapest business class flight to Europe is, I've got that in the video here. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.